All right, everybody, so welcome back to another episode of Colton Posey Fishing, and today we're going to be talking about a subject that I don't know if some of you will remember me talking about this, but I talked about using a drop shot during the spring, during the pre-spawn, during the spawn, during the post-spawn. Now, here's the thing, this is not your typical drop shot. It is, but it isn't, okay? There's two big ways that I like to work this. And usually I will keep just these two up on the front deck of my boat for days like today, okay? So behind me, I've got like, 4 rods, okay? And they're the stuff I love to run, the swim baits, the spinner baits, a little secret lure that may be coming to y'all Thursday. But either way, there is a specific way that I like to run a drop shot this time of year. It's just something the fish didn't see a lot. And you can catch a ton of fish doing this. It's super simple. Anybody can use it, and you can use just about any soft plastic on it. So either way, if that interests you, stay tuned because it's something you don't want to miss. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do, I wanna show you exactly how I rig a drop shot, okay? And this is gonna refer to the other way also, but just for individuals who have never run a drop shot, or maybe you are running a drop shot, but maybe you're not properly rigging it. This is a super simple way to do it. You're gonna take your tag in and your hook. You want your hook, the barb, the point facing straight up as you put that line in. That's one of the biggest key features, okay? And then we're going to drop that hook down. And in this scenario here, we're not going to be, we don't want that line that's 10 feet long, okay, on the hook. So I'm going to pull out a good bit of slack line, probably about 12-13 inches, and then I'm going to just have about that much, and then I'm going to run my line around here 7 times. Now this is 8-pound test, by the way. This is the reason that I say 7 times. But just tie your knot however you tie it. I run I think it's called a trilene knot. But either way, once we get all that straightened up, we're ready to zip it down just like that. We got my knot, okay? This is how your hook should look when you get done rigging it. This is not the proper way to rig a drop shot, okay? You do not want that hook straight down, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tag in and I'm going to run it back through the eye there, okay? So I'm running my tag in back through the eye towards the point, and then watch it. As I pull this, if I can get it right there. As I pull this, that knot goes straight down, and now my hook's going to stand up, okay? Now it's going to stand straight up on the line like this, but when you put that bait on there, it's going to weight that hook down, and that hook's going to sit perfectly horizontal, just like that. Now what I like to do is take your weight, whatever kind of weight you like. I suggest, oops, I dropped it. I suggest either a teardrop or a pencil weight, either one. I like both, but typically I want to run that pencil weight if I'm around rocks and wood and stuff like that a lot. But either way, we got that snugged up just like that, and that's about as much leader line as I want, just a couple of inches, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5. It doesn't really matter, just somewhere in that range. I just don't want that super long because I'm actually going to be throwing this bait up shallow. And one of the things that I really love to do is I will take, on that one in particular, I will take that Demiki armor shad that you're used to running on the Demiki head, and I will just straight nose hook that shad, and I will cast it up shallow, and I'm shaking it the entire time, which I'll have the video clipped in where you can see exactly what I'm doing. But now, here's for the part that, I don't know, it's kind of one of those hush-hush things that I don't think a whole lot of people talk about, especially the pros and stuff that use this a lot, especially during the spring, but this is a great post-spawn setup. So, we're getting away from our regular drop shot, so no spinning. We've got a casting rod, 7-foot medium heavy, okay, is what I'm going with. Just typical worm rod, 7.3 to 1 gear ratio reel. That way I can catch up to these fish quickly. And I'm going to tie it the same way, but I'm going to use a 3/0 EWG hook, and I'm going to Texas rig it and expose that hook, okay? Doing this and throwing this bait up shallow, you can throw it, especially if you put a pencil weight on the end of it instead of a teardrop, you can really throw up in deep, heavy cover and put a supposed finesse bait in areas that you typically wouldn't be able to put it, or areas that nobody else is putting it. And this is a great way. This is one way that I really love to catch fish this time of year, especially when the boat traffic starts picking up. There's a lot more fishermen out on the lake, and you know, it's just pressured. And a lot of times these fish, these post pond fish, they like to move out in the middle, and you can use these techniques to catch these fish out in the middle, or you can use them to catch them if they push up to cover. Maybe you get a heavy rain or something goes on and pushes those fish up against cover. Now, the bait that I really like to use on the casting setup for the drop shot is, this is a Jaw Tech, okay? This was sent to me by the guys at Vantage Tackle, and this is just a great just finesse stick style bait, okay? It is heavy garlics in it, but you know, whether that plays a factor or not, I'm not sure. But I like using these straight tail Cinco style worms simply because it gets in and out of cover very easy, and it's real subtle, okay? You're going to put a lot of action on that bait, and what I mean by that is, when you throw that bait out there, you're going to do the same thing that I was talking about doing with the finesse setup. You're going to shake that rod as you're moving that bait. I like to reel and shake the bait at the same time, and a lot of times you get a reaction strike out of that. But now, even if you're pitching into cover or throwing this bait up into cover, once that weight hits the bottom, or you get through the limbs or whatever you're fishing, you're going to sit there and shake it also, and that bait's going to stand straight out, and it's going to sit there and move, and it's just something they don't see up shallow a whole lot. This is typically, you know, presentations that we use, especially on the spinning setup. These are presentations that they normally see out, you know, on the main haunt or at the mouths of the creeks and stuff. And that's the thing, that's the reason I've got the 1-2 set up. If I'm going down a bank and there's not a whole lot on it, I'm going to throw that spinning rod, okay? 99% of the time you're going to get big ones, you're going to get small ones, you're going to catch a lot of post spawn fish that way, or fish that had, you know, spawned way earlier, or hatchlings that are starting to move out of these pockets and out of these creeks out towards the main lakes. You're going to catch a lot of fish in between. But once I start getting into those areas where I know, like, hey, these fish bed in this area, or, you know, there's a lot of laydowns or something like that, or a lot of grass, you can pick up that other technique and throw that bait. Now, this does not mean you can't use that bait out on the main lake or anything like that during the summer. It's a great presentation for everything, but the key feature to that specific drop shot is putting it in an area where these fish typically doesn't see it. But, you know, either way, guys, if the video helps you at all, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. It helps me out a ton. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below if you have any questions about bass fishing, or you just want to talk fishing. I love hearing from you guys. Also, all this stuff will be linked down in the description and in the shop, okay? So, you know, the worm here, this Jaw Tech, if you want to get your hands on this, check it out at vantagetackle.com. You can use my code Colton25, you'll get 10% off, and it's a great way to help support this channel. It's also a great way to support a company that believes in me and what I'm doing. So either way, guys, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.